All right. All right, we're back. While you're sitting here getting ready for me to get started, you should like, subscribe, share this with anyone you know who's going to be taking the AWS AI Practitioner. So today we're going to go into a deep dive on Amazon SageMaker. So what is SageMaker? SageMaker is a fully managed machine learning service designed for data scientists and developers to build, train, and deploy machine learning models. It centralizes the entire machine learning workflow from data preparation to model deployment and monitoring. And it's essential for the AWS Certified Machine Learning Specialty exam, but it's also relevant at a high level for the AWS Certified AI Practitioner exam. So what are the core capabilities of SageMaker? All right, let's go to the dice. Let's go to machine learning. And we'll scroll down to SageMaker. Okay, so SageMaker works with several things: data collection and preparation. So SageMaker provides tools to collect and prepare data for machine learning models. It supports various data formats and helps in transforming raw data into usable formats. Model building and training. SageMaker offers built-in algorithms for supervised and unsupervised learning, including linear regression, classification, k-means clustering, PCA, and anomaly detection. It supports advanced techniques such as natural language processing and image processing. Then it has automated model tuning, AMT. SageMaker can automatically tune hyperparameters to optimize model performance. AMT selects the best hyperparameter combinations based on an objective metric, saving time and costs. Then it has model deployment and inference. This includes real-time endpoints, which provide immediate responses with auto-scaling capabilities, serverless endpoints, which are simplified deployments with automatic scaling, but with potential cold start delays, asynchronous endpoints, which handle large payloads with near real-time processing, storing requests and responses in Amazon S3, and batch processing, which supports predictions on entire datasets with results stored in Amazon S3. And finally, SageMaker Studio. This is a unified web-based interface for managing end-to-end machine learning workflows, including data preparation, model training, deployment, and monitoring. It supports collaboration among teams and integrates tools like Jupyter Lab, RStudio, and Machine Learning Flow. So let's go in a little bit more. Let's start with SageMaker Studio. This is the unified machine learning environment. So here's Studio. All right. So what we can do here is create a domain. So we've already done this before. What you want to do is click this SageMaker domain. Excuse me. Let me see. Make sure it's the only studio. Yeah. And here's some more information where you can see everything in all the releases. We'll go back here. Okay, studio. I don't want to click the domain just because it starts a lot of processes. Okay, but within here you can interface with certain things like a central hub for starting new activities. That's called Launcher. You can file browse for different project files and folders. You can go to Git for different version control integration, and then you can see running terminals to see active compute sessions, and then you have commands so that you can do quick studio functions. So within here, you can add users, add execution roles, and submit this to be able to run within your domain. So let's go over here to, let's see, data wrangler. Okay. All right. This is not clicking. All right, let's click over here. So data wrangler. All right. Data Wrangler is a tool for preparing and transforming and visualizing data within SageMaker Studio. It supports SQL queries and data quality checks to ensure data is ready for machine learning. It allows exporting data flows for use in automated pipelines. So when you're in here, let's see, you can get ready for this on this page. All right. You get started here in the console. You have to create that domain. From here, you would import data. The typical sources would be S3. This is the most common for structured data. You can use Athena for query data lakes. You can use Redshift for data warehouse integration, or you can use Snowflake for external data warehouses. From here, you can configure the S3 to import the data, select it to auto detect your CSVs or JSONs. or any other structured file sets, and then you import it. You'd validate the data and have it add that source and be able to go forward. Then you'd use data flow. Let me see. Data. Let's see if we can go. Oh, no. Okay, so data flow is a way to add another data source. So you could add that to clean it, to add new features, or convert any categorical data. So you're basically training it at that point. And then once you have it trained, you'll be able to export it and then send it to certain destinations, like an S3 bucket, a SageMaker pipeline for an automated workflow, SageMaker's feature store for a centralized feature repository, or a Python custom script. Okay, and let's see. Feature. Um, so then there's SageMaker Feature Store. So SageMaker Feature Store is a centralized repo for storing and maintaining machine learning features across data sets, basically creating artifacts to store it. And so it facilitates the reuse of these features across different models and ensures consistency in your data handling. So if you have that S3 bucket or that data source, you can train it, be able to use it across there. All right. So it's very simple, but let's see. All right. And here's your data wrangler. Where would that be? Why am I not seeing it? Okay. But with this features, you could have the data being ingested to be used from something like Data Wrangler. All right. And then you can create an ingestion pipeline using SageMaker. You can monitor that ingestion status, validate the data quality, and then use it to browse throughout your catalog and be able to search it by name, description, or tags, and be able to move forward with that. All right. Let's see if we can find clarify. Clarify. So SageMaker Clarify, right? This is something very useful for model explainability and bias detection. So with Clarify, you have model evaluation. That's one. This compares different models based on human factors like the friendliness or the relevance using tasks assigned to human evaluators. You have the model explainability. This provides insights into how models make predictions, identifying key features influencing outcomes. And three, you have bias detection. This is how you automatically detect biases in datasets and models and offers a statistical metric to measure and address bias. So this is where you would get one overview of it. Let's see. You can find some more information in the developer resources here with the documentation, okay? And the developer guide as well. All right. Why is it not showing it? That's fine. Okay. So from here, you could configure your bias, review your bias report, look at your model explainability, and be able to go forward. Ground truth. All right. This is the next one. So ground truth is your human in the loop AI. And we talked about this a little bit with the AI 21 and regarding Amazon Mechanical Turk. All right. So ground truth supports reinforcement learning from human feedback. So this RLHF, and this aligns models with human preferences. So it involves humans in data labeling, model review, and customization to improve model performance. So you can see these labeling jobs, labeling data sets, labeling workflows. Okay. So these labeling jobs, you can create this here. What does a labeling job do? All right. This, you would enter the job name, the configurations. How do you want this automated or manually configured? Your S3, for your URI, for your unlabeled data, and then S3 for where you wanted to deposit the data. And then you can set this for the task type. Don't forget your IAM role, which you're trying to classify, and you add your tags. And you would configure it there. All right. With those workers, you could use either Mechanical Turk, your own employees, or a third-party labeling service. Then you have your labeling data jobs, right? This basically, you can view the labeling progress and metrics, review the worker performance and accuracy, and manage quality control and disputes, right? This is a good place to have active learning integration within your pipelines. You can enable some auto labeling and some machine learning. You can set thresholds within here for automatic labeling, and you can route uncertain cases to human review. And then you have here the public area of where this ground truth would be involved with. You see Mechanical Turk, you see the private vendor, or you see the third party data service that you can find. Okay. So let's see model cards. All right. So model cards. This is a centralized documentation for models, including intended uses, risk ratings, and training details. So here you can click create a model. You can start with the model name, the card status, and then you start filling in all the model documentation. That's the card name, the overview, the details, add some container information, some model ID information, the versioning, the problems that you're trying to solve, algorithms you're trying to solve or utilize, excuse me, the creator of it, intended use cases, the business stakeholder problems. All of this information would be entered here. Okay. There, you'd be able to document this and be able to set it for future use. Okay. Let's go out of model cards. Okay. And then you would have your model dashboard. So your model dashboard is a centralized portal to view and manage all models, track their deployments, and monitor model quality and bias. So from here, you can view all the centralized models. Then you can see the overview, the deployment status, performance monitoring for quality and bias metrics, and any alerts or violations. So if any thresholds you set are violated, this would appear here and you could handle this. In here, you can also update your monitoring rules. So that could help you with your data quality for any missing values or data drift, any model quality for accuracy degradation, any bias drift for change in bias metrics, or features that you want to monitor for important changes that need to be adjusted. Okay. And let's go for the next portion. Okay, role manager. All right, so role manager defines the roles and permissions for different personas, like data scientists, machine learning engineers within SageMaker, ensuring proper governance and access control. So from here, you can view pre-built personas. You can see the IAM manager, or you can create one. All right, so you can create something for a data scientist for full model development access, a machine learning engineer for deployment and infrastructure focus, a business analyst for Canvas and no-code tools, or an administrator for governance and monitoring. So let's try and you see this create the role. From here, you can enter the role name suffix. So then you could create the description, add on the schema, the persona for this, which we talked about a little bit earlier. Check out the networking, how you want this to be configured, the encryption standards, and the service roles that should be attached to this on the user's behalf. And so you can specify this for a specific role, which adds more security. Cancel out of that. All right, and then we're going to find all right, let's see. So when you have your model set up, you have to monitor it. One way you can do this is continuously. However, you can also do it periodically. This is how you would monitor any deployed models for quality and performance. With this properly configured, you would have users alerted to any deviations in model behavior, allowing for adjustments and retraining. All right, so from here, let's see if we could find. All right, from here, you would go let's say to the endpoint, find any endpoint that's deployed. You would go to the actions or update the endpoint. And then you could be able to turn on any request or response logging. And then from here, you could sample any percentages that are showing the capture rate or any S3 issues that might be showing how the storage is being impacted. And let's see. Let's see, endpoint configurations. So you can also add configurations, right? So these configurations can add different ways to model the capture that's occurring within here. And so you can update any scheduling issues, any monitoring issues, or any frequency that you need to implement for this monitoring or constraints within it. All right, and then let's back out of here. Okay. So with this endpoint, all right, with this endpoint, you can configure any violations that could be notified via CloudWatch alarms or SNS notifications, meaning if you had an increased spend, you could have that send a notification through SNS to an email or an SMS, meaning simple messaging, so a text to a phone device or to your Teams or Slack environment. Or you could do an automatic response, maybe even a remediation using Lambda. And then you'd have that CloudWatch having those thresholds and the events being able to monitor it so you can create dashboards for this. Next, we'll go. All right, Jumpstart. So Jumpstart is going to be an interesting one. So Jumpstart is something that you need a pre-trained, ready to go machine learning situation. So this is a machine learning hub that offers pre-trained models and pre-built ML solutions. So these models can be customized for specific use cases and deployed directly from SageMaker. Jumpstart also includes solutions for common business use cases like demand forecasting and fraud detection. So there's also SageMaker Canvas. Let me see. Okay. Let's find that. SageMaker Canvas. And then Jumpstart. All right. Okay. So, and there's also Canvas. All right. So Canvas is a no-code interface for building machine learning models without programming. This is good for business intelligence specialists. Somebody who wants to use something within, let's say, Power BI, and have some simple notifications and workflows that go. This uses prepackaged models and integrates with SageMaker Studio, Data Wrangler, and SageMaker Autopilot. All right. And then, let's see. Flow. All right. And then you have, let's see, Studio. So let's see if this is where I want to see Flow. Okay. So Flow is a human integration. So this is a tool that integrates with SageMaker for managing the machine learning lifecycle. All right. So this includes experiment tracking and model management. And SageMaker provides the easier deployment of Flow to track servers within the environment. So within this, you can configure this to track with URIs, Universal Resource Indicate instances, and the backend store. And this integrates with existing machine learning flows. And from here, you can log the model parameters and metrics. You can compare the model's performance across runs, and you can have version control for model artifacts. So let's go back to the basics. So SageMaker. Okay, so here's an overview of it. So SageMaker is your end-to-end platform for machine learning workflows, integrated with AWS. It's AWS's provided machine learning tool. This offers tools for data preparation, model training, deployment, and monitoring. So key features would include automatic model tuning for hyperparameter optimization, deployment and inference options for real-time, serverless, batch, and asynchronous work, SageMaker Studio for unified machine learning development and collaboration, data wrangling and feature store for data preparation and feature management, Clarify for model evaluation, explainability, and bias detection, Ground Truth for reinforcement learning with human feedback, governance tools like model cards, model dashboard, and role manager for managing those models, Jumpstart and Canvas for quick start and no code solutions, and finally, Flow for managing the machine learning lifecycle with open source tools. So for the exam, you're going to want to know data wrangling. What does that entail? How does that prepare data and get ready for features? Then you're going to know feature store. How does this centralize the feature repository for what you've already created? What's useful about Clarify? How does this detect bias detection and explain models to human users? And ground truth. How do you get humans in the loop of the machine for labeling for RLHF? Then you want to understand what model cards and dashboards are for model documentation, governance, and centralizing the model monitoring. And then finally, the role manager. What are the roles that are based on personas that demonstrate what access control is needed? So on the exam, you're going to understand what the end-to-end workflow is. That's from data prep to feature engineering to training to deployment to monitoring. What are the governance requirements, the documentation and bias and roles that are needed for it? What's the production that you're going to need to monitor, meaning the model drift, the data quality, or the performance degradation? And how do you cost optimize this? How do you use endpoints? How do you scale? And what's the resource lifecycle? And then within this, you're going to want to observe traditional AWS requirements like your VPC configurations. So how do you isolate this within your network for sensitive workloads? How do you maintain encryption for data at rest and in transit? How do you ensure that roles, like we've mentioned earlier, give least privilege access across the machine learning workflow? And then how do you audit this? Let's say using CloudTrail or CloudWatch for resource usage, and then data governance. So how do you monitor the feature lineage and the models and how they're interacting? Hope that helps you with the overall SageMaker deep dive. I know this wasn't as deep as it could be, but this gives you a touch of what is involved with SageMaker. Next up, we're going to go into AI challenges and responsibilities, but I hope you enjoyed this one. Remember, if you know anyone taking the AI practitioner exam, send this to them. Share this with them. But before then, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you and have a good day.